Hey everybody, it's time to swing. We're still swinging, and I'm your host, Thomas. In the day family, we got female correctional officers who forgot the cameras was on, and they did some pretty peculiar things. And Jenise Hart says she a goat. You know what I'm saying? She getting right down to it. So without further ado, family, let's get into it.
This officer was caught on camera doing the unthinkable with an inmate, while this cop sent indecent pictures to not one but two underage inmates. Here's a look into some instances when cops forgot they were being monitored in the station. Kawana Jenkins. During a standard shakedown at the Fulton County Jail, officers meticulously searched the cells for any contraband. These searches are routine, aimed at maintaining security and order within the facility. But on this particular day, what they found was far from ordinary. Among the items confiscated by officers during the search was a contraband cell phone. Such devices are strictly prohibited within the jail, as they can be used for illicit communication and activities. But this cell phone held something far more incriminating than anyone could have anticipated. Upon examining the contents of the phone, officers discovered a sexually explicit video. The video showed 36-year-old Kawana Jenkins, a detention officer, engaged in a lewd act with an inmate. In the video, Jenkins can be seen sitting in her uniform in one of the facility's offices, and a man's finger appears near her mouth. She then performs a sexual act on the man's finger before the video abruptly ends. The discovery of this video was followed by swift action by the Fulton County Sheriff's Office. An investigation was launched, and it was soon discovered that the man in the video with Jenkins was an inmate. The inmate in question was identified using the tattoos on his arm that are visible in the video. It turned out that the two were in some sort of relationship because Jenkins was in the habit of showering the inmate with gifts and had even gifted him a pair of Cartier glasses on one occasion. While the investigation was ongoing, Sheriff Pat Labonte, committed to transparency and accountability, addressed the media in a press conference. In his statement, he emphasized the importance of upholding the law and the ethical standards expected of all employees. As Sheriff of Fulton County, I am committed to transparency and to holding each and every employee accountable to the oath they have taken to protect and serve our community. The actions of this one individual are certainly not a reflection of the men and women of the Fulton County Sheriff's Office. In the aftermath of the incident, Jenkins was immediately fired, arrested and charged with improper sexual contact, cruelty to inmates, and several other crimes related to her actions. Gemma Cowperthwaite. Gemma Cowperthwaite was once a respected correctional officer at the St. Clair County Sheriff's Office. Known for her dedication and professionalism, she was a model officer who took her responsibilities seriously. However, everything changed in July 2014 when she met a young inmate with a long history of criminal activity. The inmate, whose identity remains protected, had a rap sheet filled with 9 felony convictions, primarily for fraud. Despite the inmate's criminal background, Gemma found herself drawn to her. What started as casual conversations soon evolved into something more personal. According to Gemma, the inmate asked if she could contact her outside of the facility, and she agreed to share her contact information despite knowing that it was a breach of conduct. The inmate began to call Gemma frequently, asking for various favors. Gemma, believing she was helping someone in need, agreed to drive the inmate to work and even allowed her to use her house to shower during lunch breaks. However, what Gemma saw as acts of kindness, the law saw as an extreme abuse of power. It is possible that at some point, the relationship between Gemma and the inmate deepened, turning not just romantic but sexual. Any relationship between an officer and an inmate, even if consensual, is an extreme abuse of power. Inmates cannot consent in any formal manner to relations with guards or officers because allowing such relationships would lead to total chaos. The relationship between the correction officer and the inmate who had caught her eye took a darker turn when the inmate accused Gemma of sexual assault. Gemma vehemently denied the allegations, claiming there was never a sexual side to their relationship. However, the evidence presented painted a different picture. An internal investigation was officially launched on April 18, 2015, after the relationship between Gemma and the inmate was reported. Gemma was placed on administrative leave during the investigation. Shortly after, she was fired from her position. During the investigation, the inmate testified that the relationship had taken place at Gemma's home while she was on work release. Her team argued that Gemma had abused her position of power to manipulate the inmate. Gemma, on the other hand, claimed she was the one being manipulated. A criminal investigation followed the internal probe, leading end to a warrant for Gemma's arrest on April 24th. She was charged with second-degree criminal sexual conduct, a felony with a lengthy sentence. In a bid to avoid being locked away for a long time, Gemma took a plea deal and pleaded guilty to sexual assault with intent to commit penetration. On July 6, 2015, Judge Daniel Kelly sentenced Gemma to 10 months in jail, with 4 months suspended upon payment of fines and court costs. But that's not all. She will also spend the rest of her life on the sex offender registry. Even behind bars, Gemma held on strongly to the belief that she had been manipulated and referred to her relationship with the unnamed inmate as the biggest mistake of her life. Caitlin Gomez. It all started on a seemingly ordinary day at the Pinellas Regional Juvenile Detention Center. Staff members were conducting routine checks when they stumbled upon something truly shocking. Hidden within the bed of a 16-year-old inmate were 10 letters, each more disturbing than the last. These letters, written by none other than Sergeant Caitlin Gomez, detailed an inappropriate and illicit relationship that had developed between her and the young inmate. The discovery of these letters was nothing short of a bombshell. The letters were immediately handed over to the authorities, and an investigation was launched by the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office. The first thing investigators discovered was that the contents of the letters were explicit and left little to the imagination. The handwritten messages described in graphic detail what would take place during the first sexual encounter between Gomez and the inmate and revealed an ongoing relationship that had developed while the teen was incarcerated. The letters were not just a one-time lapse in judgment. Instead, they painted a picture of a calculated and premeditated affair. As the detectives delved deeper into the investigation, they discovered a photo of Caitlin Gomez in the inmate's cell. This further confirmed the inappropriate relationship and added another layer of evidence against her. The photo, along with the letters, was a clear indication that Gomez had crossed a line that should never be crossed. Gomez had been hired as a sergeant on January 5, 2024. Just 3 weeks into her assignment, she was placed in charge of a pod that included the 16-year-old inmate. It was during this time that the relationship between the two began to develop. Despite being instructed not to be alone with any of the juveniles, Gomez was seen one-on-one with the inmate several times. This raised suspicions among the staff, but no one could have predicted the extent of her actions. When confronted by investigators, Gomez admitted to writing the letters and developing a relationship with the teen. She confessed that she had fantasized about having a sexual relationship with him and even planned to build a life with him once he was released from the detention center. Her admissions were both shocking and disturbing. Gomez was immediately fired from her position and arrested on one count of solicitation of a child to engage in an act that constitutes sexual battery by a person in familial or custodial authority. She was booked into the Pinellas County Jail, where she remains to this day as the investigation is still ongoing. Zuleika Santiago. Zuleika Santiago had a promising career in law enforcement until she started to forget that there were cameras and other officers watching her every move. In her mid-20s, she joined the South Carolina Department of Corrections, SCDC, as a correctional officer and was on the way to making a good name for herself. Her role was to maintain order and security within the Union County Detention Center, a facility that houses inmates awaiting trial or serving short sentences. Santiago's initial years at the detention center were marked by her good conduct and dedication to her duties. She quickly earned the respect of her colleagues and superiors, who saw her as a reliable and competent officer. However, beneath the surface of her seemingly bright career, Santiago was hiding a truly dark secret. She was having an illicit sexual affair with an inmate in the facility. This reckless decision would eventually cause her life to take an unexpected and disastrous turn. Although it is unclear how the once hidden illicit relationship came to light, the beginning of the investigation into Santiago's conduct can be traced back to a series of suspicious activities observed by her colleagues. Rumors began to circulate within the detention center about Santiago's unusually close interactions with a particular inmate. These interactions, which initially seemed harmless, soon raised red flags among the staff. Concerns were brought to the attention of the facility's administration, prompting a closer look into Santiago's behavior. The administration decided to conduct a discreet internal investigation to gather more information. Surveillance footage from the detention center was reviewed, and interviews were conducted with staff members who had observed Santiago's interactions with the inmate. The findings of the initial investigation were troubling. The footage revealed instances where Santiago was seen entering the inmate's cell for extended periods, and there were reports of inappropriate conversations and physical contact. As the evidence mounted, the administration realized the gravity of the situation and decided to escalate the investigation. They confronted Santiago with the overwhelming evidence they had gathered, and she eventually admitted to engaging in a sexual relationship with the inmate. She confessed to willfully participating in sexual intercourse with the inmate on multiple occasions, a clear violation of her professional and ethical responsibilities. The South Carolina Department of Corrections acted swiftly in response to Santiago's confession. She was charged with 2 counts of first-degree sexual misconduct with an inmate and subsequently arrested. Santiago was also terminated from her position as a correctional officer, effective immediately.
She wasn't too bright, was she, fam?
Jordan Traynor. In June 2018, Jordan Traynor, a prison officer from Wakefield, West Yorkshire, started working at Weatherby Young Offenders Institution. Traynor, who was married at the time, quickly developed a flirtatious relationship with one of the 17-year-old inmates. This relationship would soon spiral out of control, leading
Not the kids.
to a series of shocking events. Prosecutor Jonathan Sharp detailed the progression of this illicit relationship at Leeds Crown Court. He said Traynor was aware that the inmate had a mobile phone, and she began sending him sexualized messages. These messages quickly escalated into something much more scandalous. Traynor started taking sexualized photographs of herself, and in a particularly bold move, printed copies of these photographs at her place of work before handing them to the boy. But it didn't stop there. Traynor also smuggled several parcels into the institution, including suspected phones, both for the inmate and, upon his request, for other inmates. As if one illicit relationship wasn't enough, Traynor also got involved with a second 17-year-old inmate in the same manner. She started sending him sexualized text messages and photographs. Their
Just a real player, ain't she?
relationship progressed to the point where the inmate touched her inappropriately on 3 occasions, and Traynor did not protest or report any of the incidents. In fact, she regularly asked colleagues to swap shifts so that she could be working where the inmate would be. A message she sent to him on the morning of December 23, 2019 provides a clear indication of her feelings towards him and the type of relationship the two had. In the message, Traynor wrote, "Can't wait to see you today. Missed your face, X." Word of Traynor's relationship with the young inmate spread throughout the Young Offenders Institution, and it wasn't long before the authorities caught wind of the officer's illicit activities. On December 23, 2019, searches of both boys' cells were carried out. Each had a record of Traynor's personal mobile number, and the first inmate still had the 2 photographs she had given him. The second boy had 3 mobile phones, which were seized and examined. Traynor's actions finally caught up with her when she was stopped as she arrived for work and was suspended from duty. In a desperate attempt to communicate with the second boy, she sent him a message that read, "I'll not see you again now. I've been suspended." After receiving no reply, she later sent another message which read, "Full of conversation, aren't you?" At this point, it had not yet occurred to her that his phone was by then in the hands of the authorities. When arrested and interviewed on January 25, 2020, Traynor admitted to her actions and pleaded guilty to misconduct in a public office. She claimed that the first boy had blackmailed her into doing some of the things she had done, but the prosecution rejected that claim, stating that she was able to report it. As to her motivation, Traynor candidly admitted that in relation to the first inmate, she liked the attention. In an attempt to garner sympathy, Jade Edwards told the court that Traynor felt unsupported and rejected by her husband, despite the fact that she had moved from Feltham Young Offenders Institution in London to Yorkshire to support his career. Edwards also revealed that Traynor had suffered with her mental health since she was a teenager and had recently been diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. In the end, Traynor was given an 18-month prison sentence. Nikisha Newell. Nikisha Newell's story began in 2017 when she was employed as a corrections officer at Butler County Jail in Ohio. Known for her professionalism and dedication, Nikisha was a trusted member of the staff. However, beneath the surface, a different narrative was unfolding, one that would eventually lead to her downfall. Nikisha's life took a dramatic and unexpected turn when she began an illicit relationship with an inmate. The inmate, whose identity remains undisclosed somehow, managed to gain Nikisha's trust and affection. The relationship between the two quickly escalated into a sexual encounter, which took place within the confines of the jail. The sexual relationship between Nikisha and the inmate was not a one-time occurrence. In fact, it became a regular part of their interactions, with Nikisha using her position to set up these encounters. The inmate, aware of the power dynamics at play and what he stood to gain, did not hesitate to create a bond with Nikisha that was both dangerous and forbidden. As their relationship deepened, Nikisha began to take greater risks. She smuggled contraband items into the jail, further violating strict regulations. Among the items she brought in were a cell phone and electronic cigarettes. These items were not just luxuries for the inmate, they were tools that allowed him to maintain contact with Nakisha and possibly other inmates or external contacts. The cell phone, in particular, was a significant breach of security, as it could be used to coordinate illegal activities both inside and outside the jail. Unfortunately for Nakisha, the smuggling of contraband items did not go unnoticed for long. Other inmates and staff members began to suspect that something was amiss. The situation reached a tipping point when a tip-off from an observant corrections sergeant led to an internal investigation. The jail's administration, determined to maintain order and security, launched a thorough inquiry into the allegations. Nakisha's actions were examined, and the evidence against her began to mount. The cell phone and electronic cigarettes were discovered, and the nature of her relationship with the inmate was exposed. Nakisha's actions sent shockwaves through the Butler County Jail, and the consequences were inevitable. Nakisha's once promising career as a corrections officer came to an abrupt end when she was fired and arrested. She was charged with 2 counts of sexual battery and illegal conveyance of a communications device into the jail, and after pleading guilty, she was sentenced to 2 years in prison. Emery Waller. Emery Waller began her career with the Arizona Department of Juvenile Corrections in January 2019. At just 25 years old, she was tasked with overseeing young offenders at Adobe Mountain School in Phoenix. Little did anyone know that she would soon land herself in a scandal that would not only shock the community, but also ruin her budding law enforcement career. Among the many young offenders under her supervision was an 18-year-old parolee who had recently been released from Adobe Mountain School. This young man, whose identity remains undisclosed due to legal reasons, was living in a residential home for juvenile offenders. It was here that Waller's inappropriate relationship with him began to take shape. The relationship between Waller and the former inmate initially came to light through a series of explicit Snapchat messages. On January 6th, a fellow youth corrections officer who had been suspicious of Waller's behavior stumbled upon these messages. The content of the messages was sexually explicit and left no doubt that Waller and the former inmate were involved in a relationship. The youth corrections officer who had uncovered the illicit affair wasted no time in reporting the situation to her superiors. Under Arizona law, it is illegal for anyone employed by the Department of Juvenile Corrections to engage in any sexual act with an offender who is under the supervision of the department. This law is designed to protect vulnerable individuals from exploitation and abuse by those in positions of authority. As the investigation unfolded, more details about the nature of Waller's relationship with the former inmate began to emerge. The explicit Snapchat messages were just the tip of the iceberg. Investigators soon discovered that the relationship had been ongoing for several months. On January 9th, a special investigator visited the former inmate at his group home in Phoenix. During the interview, the young man admitted to having sexual intercourse with Waller. A parole search of the young man's room uncovered even more damning evidence, including nude photos and videos of Waller on his cell phone. The investigation didn't stop there. Investigators also searched Waller's phone and found multiple sexually explicit pictures and videos of both her and the former inmate. As the investigation into Emery Waller's inappropriate relationship with the former inmate gained momentum, the authorities took swift action to uncover the full extent of her. During the interview, Waller was questioned about her interactions with the former inmate. Initially, she attempted to downplay the nature of their relationship, but the investigators were armed with substantial evidence, including the explicit messages and the young man's confession. In a desperate bid to cover up her actions, Waller requested a restroom break. Unknown to the investigators, she had smuggled an Apple Watch into the interview. Once inside the restroom, Waller used the watch to contact her roommate, instructing her to call the former inmate and tell him to deny and delete everything. This attempt to tamper with evidence only added to the gravity of the situation. Investigators quickly discovered Waller's actions and documented her use of the Apple Watch as an effort to obstruct justice. Faced with overwhelming evidence and the additional charge of tampering with physical evidence brought on by her actions, Waller eventually admitted to the relationship. She confirmed that she had engaged in inappropriate conduct with the former inmate. The legal proceedings that followed were swift and decisive. Waller was arrested on suspicion of unlawful sexual conduct, conveying contraband in a juvenile facility, and tampering with physical evidence. Tina Gonzalez. Tina Gonzalez was a young and ambitious correctional officer, just 26 years old, when she began working at the Fresno County Jail in California. Tina quickly earned the respect of her colleagues and superiors and was in the process of building a successful law enforcement career. However, Tina was hiding a secret that would eventually lead to her downfall. It all started in early 2020 when Tina first encountered and became friendly with a particular inmate serving time for various offenses. He was a charismatic individual, known for his ability to charm those around him. As the weeks went by, Tina found herself drawn to the inmate in ways she couldn't explain. Their conversations became more personal, and Tina started to share details about her life outside the jail. Before long, the relationship between Tina and the inmate took a forbidden turn, and the two began engaging in intimate acts within the confines of the jail. They would meet in secluded areas, away from the prying eyes of other inmates and staff. Tina knew she was risking her career and freedom, but at the time she didn't seem to care. It wasn't long before the inmate began to manipulate Tina into smuggling contraband items into the jail. He convinced her that he needed certain items to make his life behind bars more bearable. At first, Tina was hesitant, but she eventually gave in. She started small, bringing in items like cigarettes and snacks. As their relationship grew stronger, so did the inmate's demands. He began asking Tina to smuggle more dangerous items like cell phones and drugs. Tina complied with his requests. She would carefully plan her smuggling operations, ensuring that she avoided detection by the jail authorities. Despite her best efforts to keep their affair and smuggling activities hidden, Tina's actions did not go unnoticed. Someone who had uncovered the truth about the illicit affair sent in an anonymous tip to the jail. He places a mobile phone on a shelf facing the door, ensuring the camera has a clear view of the room. This setup indicates that Hogg clearly intended to capture what was about to unfold. Hogg then wanders around his surfaced that Tina had cut a hole in her uniform to give the inmate easy access to her body, and that on one occasion she had been intimate with him in presence of about 11 other inmates. Faced with the undeniable truth, Tina eventually admitted to engaging in a sexual relationship with an inmate and smuggling various items into the jail for him. She was subsequently arrested. In June 2021, Tina Gonzalez was found guilty on multiple charges, including sexual misconduct with an inmate, smuggling contraband, and conspiracy to distribute prohibited items within the jail. The judge sentenced her to 2 years and 7 months in prison. Rachel Wilson. At the time that Rachel Wilson made the mistake that would eventually cost her her job, she was a relatively new prison officer at HMP Addywell, a privately run prison in Scotland. She had only been on the job since the spring and was still in her probation period. Little did she know that her actions would soon make headlines and spark a major controversy. Kevin Hogg, the inmate who would make headlines along with Rachel, was no stranger to the prison system. Serving a 3-year sentence for traffic offenses, Hogg was known among inmates and staff alike. But it wasn't his criminal record that would make him infamous. It was his bold move to film a forbidden encounter with a prison officer. The incident in question was captured in a 79-second video that has since been shared widely among prison inmates and staff. The video begins with Hogg in his white-walled modern cell. He places a mobile phone on a shelf facing the door, ensuring the camera has a clear view of the room. This setup indicates that Hogg clearly intended to capture what was about to unfold. Hogg then wanders around his cell, taking a swig of water, seemingly to freshen up his mouth. A few seconds later, Rachel Wilson appears at the cell door. The two can be heard whispering to each other, and then without much delay, Hogg grabs Wilson for a passionate kiss. When they are finished, Hogg can be heard saying, "That's what I wanted." This statement, captured on video, would later fuel speculations about his motives. After Wilson leaves the cell, Hogg stops recording. The video quickly began to make its rounds among inmates and staff, not just at Addywell, but also at other prisons, including Barlinnie in Glasgow. The footage was shared by Hogg so he could get bragging rights, according to prison insiders. As the scandalous video of Rachel Wilson and Kevin Hogg circulated, it didn't take long for speculations to start rolling in. One of the theories was that Rachel Wilson had been blackmailed by Hogg into kissing him, but this was not the case. A source at Addywell prison stated, if this was an unwanted approach, then she could have pressed her panic button, but she didn't, proving that she was a willing participant. Shortly after the video began to circulate, the West Lothian prison put out a statement confirming that Rachel Wilson no longer worked for them. Going against the code of conduct is never a good choice, and these cops learned that the hard way. Check out any of our other videos.
Well, family, those ladies forgot the cameras was rolling. But next up, we got Jenise Hart. All right, and she says she the ghost, so she getting right into it.
With your content, do you use the same male talent, or how does that work?
I plead the fifth.
Okay. Have you had any bad experiences on set.
Hell yeah. I done sucked 2 niggas that took perks. What the hell? I'm just sucking and sucking and sucking and sucking. 40 minutes? What? That's crazy. Didn't even tell me. Don't tell me. Then I'm like, oh, what's going on? Yeah, I took a perk. What? Like, what's going on? Disrespectful. That just like pissed me off. When I contract guys out, I pay guys to be on my camera. So now I'm at the point where I pay guys $2,500. In the beginning, the first time I paid a guy, it was $300. But every time my money goes up, I pay the guys more and more. You know what I mean? Just makes sense. Yes, they'll do it for free, but it's like I appreciate it, you know? But it's like there's so many rules to it. Like you can't be just out here f***ing a whole bunch of girls. You can't have in the last couple of days. It's a lot of things. Like I don't want to be sucking your dick for a long time. I do, but I don't. I'm just trying to get the scene in and then go home. We have things to do. But yeah, the perk, it just irritates me.
Word.
That's the only bad experience that I've had. Oh no, another bad experience. I was sucking a guy's and he stopped me mid-suck and he was like, "You don't have to pay me, just can we have sex?" And I was like, "What?" That's what I was saying. I'm like, what kind of niggas gonna turn down the money? I'm gonna get the bread first. I don't know what's going on. I mean, I was so hurt by that. I was like, ew. I was turned off.
Really?
Yeah, I made him leave.
Cause
it's like, get to the bag first. What are you talking about?
Right.
You could have talked about that afterwards. Get
especially
the money.
if you already sucking his dick.
Right. Just get the... Because I'm a cool nigga. Like, if you want to chill after I suck your dick, it's cool. Like, we could chill. Like, I don't care. Nah.
So you pay him to give him oral, and it was so good that he wanted you to keep the money, and he wanted to go all the way.
Yes. He wanted to. I'm not really.
And you like, nah, nigga, I'm paying you to suck.
Yeah,
you tweaking.
I don't get my coochie out like that. No more.
That's something.
Just for me. Yeah. I don't like that. I don't like anal either. Y'all like giving. Y'all like giving ass.
No, hell no. I don't do that. I don't do that booty. But you say so you don't mind. You don't mind. Right? They say you don't mind giving up that mouth though, like that neck.
I love.
Shout out Rock Squad. Shout out Rock Squad. Thanks for the super stick. Appreciate it. Your support. You know I do, bro.
Well, how much you got to suck mine?
You can't pay me.
Oh, okay. No, I'm asking you to pay me.
She going off, ain't she?
Oh, you want me to pay you?
Ain't that what you said?
You got a big.
Yeah, ain't that what you said?
That would go viral.
That's what I'm saying.
They know you.
That's what I'm saying.
You know how many niggas know you? They gonna be like, oh my God, you finally got. Everywhere I go, they be like, she probably sucked this dick. I be like, no, I didn't do that. Wow.
Hell nah.
Are you joking?
I'm dead ass.
Oh, you serious?
I'm dead ass for real.
Nah, skinny niggas be having a big ass dick. For real, I'm being serious.
Go ahead, put on your performance.
I'm gonna start slapping. Send me the pictures. Send me the videos. Yeah. Just some hand sanitizer. I don't even need a napkin. Right there.
Yo, she is off the chain, ain't she?
No, I'm just. It's spit all over the bottle now.
What?
Did you guys see that video when I sucked that bottle? Wow.
She doing it like that.
Oh, this bottle sucks in too. It was a glass bottle. That's crazy. Well, when I suck it like that, it just goes right down my throat, like a vacuum. Have you ever been in the throat? Like in the throat? Like in it, because it's like a pop. Like you gotta pop down there. Are you lying?
It's like a little rim you gotta pass.
Yes, it really is. I'm serious. Have you? Y'all niggas ain't even. I'm just. I just wanted to give you guys a tutorial.
Don't give us no tutorial. I don't think anybody in this motherfucker suck a dick. I hope not. We're gonna wrap this interview up before they think it's that.
That's how I drink too.
Damn.
Just gotta.
Damn.
All right.
So you swallow, don't spit.
I do both.
Okay.
It just all depends on what guy wants.
Oh, okay. What man don't want you to swallow? Well, he wants you.
I don't think a lot of men have been to the point where it's like they in the mouth or in the throat.
Really? Oh.
Have you guys from head? There's a lot of men. I like to get the niggas that never nutted.
Yeah, me. I ain't never did it before.
You already said you did. I love to get the niggas that never nutted because now it's like.
Hell no.
Oh, you want to try it? I'm dead. You never did it.
Hell no, y'all is crazy.
The only thing is you have to have a chart. I did want to come out here. I wanted to do a elevator video, like suck a nigga in the elevator, but I didn't reach out to anybody to figure it out. But I could suck one of y'all. But you guys gotta come to Baltimore because I'm opening a bunch of
brothels.
Dang, I want to open a brothel so bad. And it's so many bitches that's like, I'll suck dick for you, Jenise. And it's like, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so cool, right? Like, yeah, suck my man's dick. Like,
Yeah, you probably gotta hit Vegas.
Huh?
Go to Vegas.
They be lined up by rush hour.
They in Vegas for
I've
sure.
never been to Vegas.
Oh yeah, go to Vegas. You need to go to Vegas.
I want my own brothel with like sexy black women. They probably don't got that.
You ain't never been to Vegas?
They got black women doing it?
Is you trying to go to Vegas?
Yeah.
We can go to Vegas tomorrow.
No, we can't because I love to gamble.
Let's see, I ain't trying to do all that.
I love gambling. Yeah, I got sucking dollars. I love gambling. I got sucking paper. I love it. I gamble way too much.
Hell no. I like that. That was good. I like that.
No, but I'm so serious though.
I'll be dead ass too. Like I'll be joking, but I'll be LBS. You know what that mean? When you texting LBS,
Oh,
laughing but serious.
I don't know that one. I never knew what that meant.
Yeah.
When you Google it, it doesn't tell you that. Like some
It
of the,
don't?
yeah, it
It's gonna
does.
say pounds if you put
I don't
LBS.
know. It doesn't tell me what it is, but I Google every abbreviation and it'll tell me what it is. But that was one that I couldn't find.
Really?
Yeah.
What does
I
LBS
just put,
mean?
I hope I don't.
They
throw
say my
up.
pounds, right? Why do we say L?
See?
I mean, nah, you're right. I guess that's from Chicago. I don't know.
But if you put LOL or LMAO or what the f did I
Right.
just?
Okay, here you go.
G2G.
What does LBS stand for? Slang on Google. It say laughing but serious.
Oh, slang. Why does it have to be slang?
I mean, I guess
Black people are very marketable. Oh my god.
you feel like slang is like a black people term.
Yeah, slang.
For sure,
yes.
right? Slang, like
you don't feel
thug.
like that?
No, for sure, slang.
I feel like we at the top.
Slang,
I feel-
some shit black people say. Slang, that's what slang is.
Yeah.
Some shit black people say.
That's it.
Well, let the people know where to find you at on social media, where to subscribe to your OnlyFans, stuff like that.
Please follow me on Funny Ass Jenise and like all my shit, comment and share. I all the porn stuff. I'm already rich there. I want to make my next million on comedy. That's what I want to do.
Right.
I don't want to make another million in porn. You know what I mean?
That's what's up.
So yeah, I took a break last year, a whole year off. I had a baby. I tried the mother thing. I tried the wife thing. But I'm back to throwing.
And you say, I heard you say before we start recording that
Somebody thought that was a good idea.
your first comedy show is coming up soon.
Oh my gosh, it's in Columbus, Ohio, you guys. I don't even know where it's at. But it's February 11th. All I know is I'm so nervous. I don't know. I don't know how the people are going to take me.
Bro, I ain't know shit with somebody, man.
I don't know what to do. I know what to talk about, but I don't know what to do. I'm so.
So it's gonna be a stand up.
It's stand-up comedy.
And you've never done stand up before.
I've never done stand-up.
Stand up is a challenge. I've never done it, but I know it is a challenge.
Yeah, I went to like my second show and I seen somebody get booed a little bit. And I was like, that's me. I'm gonna start throwing hands because people got me fucked up. Now. If somebody starts booing me, I just start sucking dick. Then they gonna be like, wow. So, shut the standing ovation, but nobody's clapping.
We appreciate you sharing your energy with us tonight, Miss Jenise Hart.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Spence. Thank you, DJ U. I forgot your name.
As always, family, it don't take much to be nice. We all gotta live on this planet together, walking in and out of each other's space. Respect is important. Like the program, share the program. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. Look, I know it's not many people in here, family. I'm kicked out of the algorithm, and I don't know when YouTube will be letting me off punch. So make sure you hit that like button. Still swinging out.